Blake Anderson, one of the stars here of Freak Brothers on Tubi. It's streaming now for free. Tell us all about this series. It's based off a comic book.
That's right. It's based off of underground comic from the 1970s. It's a super cool comic. It's called The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, and it's basically about these three kind of, stoner dummy guys bumbling through life and, just kind of trying to stay as high as possible and have as little responsibilities as possible. But where this cartoon picks up is basically they stumble upon this weed that makes them fall asleep for about 50 years and they wake up in the present day. So they're kind of these fish out of the water from the 70s. They're now fish out of the water now. So they're like double fish out of water. They're basically amphibians out of water.
Now let's talk about the three main voices: Pete Davidson, Woody Harrelson, John Goodman. Do you know who was the first to jump on the project, and when did you come along?
As far as those three go, I want to say John Goodman was the first one to kind of throw his name into the hat, because we my partner Adam Devine from Workaholics, that's where we know each other. We're both producers on this cartoon. We had heard through the grapevine, well, actually Adam works on Righteous Gemstones with John Goodman. He had heard that he was a super big fan of Freak Brothers back in the day. Like, he read the comic, and Adam mentioned like, oh, we're actually making that cartoon, and his ears kind of perked up and he was like, I'd love to be a part of that. And we were just like, there's like no way we could get this guy, like legend, to be a voice of this legendary character. And then I think once, John Goodman signs on, then, the other names come out of the woodworks, and it all just kind of happened organically from there. And next thing you know, we have a dream cast.
Exactly. Now, since you mentioned Adam, I do want to chat with you as far as like your friendship. I mean, working from Workaholics, from shooting that show at your house. I mean, how has your friendship evolved? And, have you always just wanted to collaborate with him on all these projects?
Yeah, I mean, that's the dream, right? Is to be able to have your dream job with your best friends. And I'm very aware of how lucky and fortunate I am to have like these opportunities. But the fact that we've been able to parlay our friendship into, project after project it's just icing on the cake. So when this came down the pipe, this cartoon, it was like, it was a no-brainer. It's like, let's do it. A cartoon about stoners from a legendary comic book. Like, yeah, sounds great.
Now, because obviously with everything going on with COVID, are everybody recording together, or is everybody recording at their houses? And how's that working out?
Well, that was like another reason that I think that this cartoon like skyrocketed to the top of the to-do list is like, when we were all in quarantine, people were still scrambling for ways to stay active and busy. And as far as like cartoons go, is like, they can keep going. People can draw from their bedroom and record from their closets, which we did numerous times. I remember just sitting in my closet and Adam being at his house and we have like blankets over our heads and we're just doing voices for the cartoon. It was pretty surreal, but it all worked out. And I've watched episodes and it sounds fine. So I don't know, maybe we don't need recording studios anymore. Step your game up.
Exactly. All we need is the blankets and good closets in our homes.
That's it.
The reason I asked that, as far as, because Tiffany Haddish is also on the show too, as far as like everybody cracking each other up, as far as either through read-throughs or when you're all together. I can't imagine that with all these amazing, funny people, you and Adam as well too, into that mix, that I would never, if I was part of that, I would never get any work done because everyone would just crack me up.
Oh, it's so crazy. I mean, there's a few times that we've gotten on those big group Zooms, and it's just like, you're just looking at the panel of people and how hilarious and how much amazing things they've been a part of. It's just like, it's very surreal. But yeah, I mean, probably one of the coolest, funniest casts assembled, I think. Sorry, Avengers. Sorry.
Exactly. So, sorry, this pass is taking over. So let's talk about the differences between, the 60s and 2020 is when the three brothers wake up. I mean, is it technology? Is it people? Is it, there's parts with like the phones, like there's so much that's different. I mean, what are they having the trouble with most adjusting with?
Yeah, you would guess like the technology of the days, the language of the times, but like I guess that was what was kind of cool about going back and revisiting the comics is like a lot of the stuff kind of runs parallel. You know, these dudes were like counterculture at the time, you know, just trying to get high, being anti-war, anti-government, all that stuff. So like a lot of stuff you saw like were parallels, and their point of view actually still seemed, you know, kind of fresh and funny in today's day and age. But yeah, you like to see them struggle with all the things you don't even realize are around anymore with like the series and the cell phones, and you could imagine that their minds are pretty blown by the present time.
Exactly. I do want to ask a question about, well, season 2 is going on right now. This was a show that we all needed, and it gives us a good comic relief and a good insight into everything going on in the world. What does it mean to you to be a part of that series?
Oh man, being a part of Woke is amazing experience. You know, I love everybody who works on the project. Everybody's so talented, and like you said, I think it's a show that is refreshing and needed. I mean, it explores uncomfortable conversations that we've needed to have for a long time, but it's through a really creative lens. So I think it makes it, you know, easier to swallow or allow yourself to, you know, engage with. So I'm extremely proud of being a part of that, and hopefully get to continue doing it.
Continue doing that show, and then the Freak Brothers, you know, as well too. Pete Davidson, Woody Harrelson, John Goodman, Adam Devine, Blake Anderson, Tiffany Haddish. Are you all getting together around the holidays? Are you guys doing anything special, you know, before the year end?
Oh yeah, you know, let's get this Hanukkah started, baby. I'm trying to get 8 crazy nights. Me and Tiffany just eggnog for days. Is eggnog part of Hanukkah? Everybody does eggnog, right? That
Everybody does
crosses
eggnog.
all lines. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's drink lots of eggnog with each other.
There you go. Perfect way to celebrate the holidays. Blake, thank you so much for your time today. Freak Brothers now streaming on Tubi.